I'm black. Give me diamond watch, give me platinum plaque. I'm a goon or something, I make do with that. Ain't here to small talk, don't need the chat. Know that I was made in the lab. The scientist screaming, oh my God. Give him swagger, a Tone Beach vibe. Let him hit the streets, let them die. What it mean to be great when you at halftime? When you're 20 years old, never had a touchdown. When you lose a control, all your brother's been gone. You're confused, you alone, never earned you a dime. I got the goal, I think I'm gonna win. Race in the morning now.
Our Wednesday edition of the Just Saying podcast. Because I'm your host, Ferman Jackson Jr. Be a shout out in her absence, Larissa as well. In her absence, be shout out to her. My lovely co-host. We live stream every Wednesday here on YouTube, and we live streaming on Instagram. And of course, we love having real conversations, real people, on real things. And I just want to give a big shout out there and everybody that's tuning in. Thank you everybody for being supportive of the podcast, of the brand, of the platform. Of course, as we go live every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, at the live streaming right now from the DFW. And what I said, we are very excited, and we're very here, and we're about to have a good time. And I also welcome Lo. She's in the building as well. Lo, how are you doing on this great Wednesday evening?
I'm doing great, co-host. How are you?
Awesome, fantastic. One, it was always good to see you, and also be able to lay with you in this vineyard on the Just Saying Podcast. We're very excited, very honored to have a very special guest with us this evening. She's a very extraordinary individual per se. She's the visionary behind HackHERproof. It's a human-centered cybersecurity awareness and education brand that helps organizations, individuals understand digital risk without taking the overwhelm. She breaks down the cybersecurity in a way that makes sense, focus on the human behavior behind most cyber incidents, not just technology. So we want to welcome Ms. Lewis to the platform. Ms. Lewis, thank you for taking time out of the schedule to be on here with me and Larissa on today. You have a very, just going over your stuff, you have a very impressive resume. There is no dead air space. There's no in between. I see you full-fledged about your life's purpose. And into cybersecurity, we see a lot of people, they want to get into other things, fashion, things of that trend. But you decide to get off into cybersecurity. So take me and Lo behind the scenes on how this guy started. Where this originated from?
Before we start, Ms. Lewis. You can't hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you for coming onto the show. Your presence is a blessing, and it's a blessing for all of minorities out there, because we rarely see a lot of minorities in this field. It has for years been primarily set up for other people. So thank you so much, and all the work that you do, giving you your flowers in advance. So,
Thank you. Thank you both so much. I'm so excited to be on the Just Saying podcast. Thank you guys for having me. So I'll start by saying what brought me to cybersecurity. So I would consider myself as a non-traditional career changer, and also an individual that does have a lot of interests as well. So I went back to, my background is in communications and political science. That was what my undergraduate degrees were. And I went off to work in higher education, nonprofits, all in the communications sector, delivering messaging that would influence the audience, essentially. Now, while I was working in this field, I always knew I wanted to go back to school, but I said I wasn't going to go back unless I was going back for something that was going to be viable. Like in 10 years, I'm going to have a job, and then also something I'm genuinely interested in. And I wanted to do something different than what I've been doing the last 4 years. So at that point, I went back to school, got my master's in IT with a concentration in cybersecurity. And I also landed an internship opportunity, which brought me from North Carolina all the way out to Dallas, Texas. While I was in this internship opportunity, this gave me the first look at how a corporate environment trains and structures their security awareness division. Now, while I was in this position, what I saw was that I was getting messages from managers saying how they thought the annual training was boring. They were just clicking through it so that they could meet compliance guidelines, but they weren't even like engaged in the education or taking it in at all. So I created HackHERproof to close that gap. I wanted to make cybersecurity make sense for real people. And I wanted to focus on the behavior risk reduction side of it, the human side of it, versus only just the technical controls. So that's kind of what birthed HackHERproof, I'd say.
Okay, good. I do have a question real quick. And then I'm gonna let Ferman, I know he had some questions as well. And we could just take turns. I don't know, we'll just be your brain. So you said you started your own thing and you wanted to branch out for something. I'm sorry, you see my issues with the computer. Blame it on age, I guess. Okay, so you already spoke on what made you want to do this here.
Mm-hmm.
Would be some, because I do know a lot of people that are interested in this field right now, and I know this might be a question that might be later on, but I wanted to just go straight in for it. What are some of the tips, like just tips for people who initially want to get into it? Like, what are what courses should they specifically? If they don't, like, if they're a novice and they don't know anything about it, but they're interested, what would you suggest would be the very first thing they should learn?
Shameless plug. I always have to plug myself. I would encourage people to really connect with HackHERproof on our different channels, specifically our TikTok page. What I specialize in is translating those technical topics into understandable material that even non-technical users can get. And I cover things that are very relevant to the human. Like, you don't have to be in cybersecurity space. You don't have to be in technology. You could be an average online shopper. You could be somebody that works in banking, but you still should know about social engineering. You should know about phishing. Those are like two things I would say. Go ahead and start looking up, what is phishing? How does that actually work? What are the signs of a phishing email, so that you can just start familiarizing yourself with those things. And then even like a smaller step to take would just start thinking about safer digital habits. Maybe we take a step back from just cybersecurity overall and start looking into, how can I be safer online? Little things such as password management, making sure you have 12 to 15 characters in your password. You're not reusing the same password across multiple platforms. That's a big one that I see a lot of the time. Things like being careful about what you share online. That's another big one. People don't think, like, the little stuff you share on social media, like, oh, I'm going to put my birthday, month, date, and year up there for public information, or, share every little detail about yourself on social media that can also compromise your safety in your accounts as well. So I would say start with HackHERproof, check out our TikTok page. We have great resources, and then just start looking up ways you can build safer digital habits. And two topics to kick off with would be phishing and social engineering.
That's good. Okay. So just familiarize yourself with those things. And those are very important things, because I've noticed sometimes, even it was so funny. It's so funny you mentioned that, because a lot of times we download a lot of different websites, just websites, period, or apps. We don't read the fine print. And my son and my daughter, we were just, like we normally do, we were having that conversation. And immediately my daughter was like, oh yeah, they're listening. We were talking about that super early today. And then she's like, yeah, they're listening on our phone, because the conversation we had just had
popped up on the phone.
Something, yes, very relevant to what we were talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, baby, they're going to always listen. But that's why, it's important that, you got to read the fine print, because I did not realize that was happening until I was like, hold up. Wait a minute. Wait. Why is this knowing? Like, why does this know what I'm about to, like, I'm getting all this advertisement, this third party, things about, things that I having conversations, and my phone is not on. I'm not looking it up on any search engines, but they are there. So, you know, I was like, okay. So
that's definitely happened to me. And even freakier than that, I promise you, I've even thought about some things I didn't even say out loud, and they pop up on my phone as well. Isn't that crazy?
What is that about? Like, what is that?
What that's about? I'm not sure exactly what the thinking part. I'm not sure what that's about. I don't know how I can think about it and it pop up on my screen. That
is crazy, because like, just another personal experience. I was refilling my mom's medication, and I'm really good with medications and knowing what they are used for. But there was one medication that I did not know. I literally just put in the first letter, and immediately, I don't see like this. My glasses have the image. I don't know. So I was like, what's going on? Like, every medication that I needed. I mean, there are a multitudes of medications that might start with a consonant or something, an E or an A or whatever. And I was like, how the heck did they know that I was looking for this one though? So, hi Zay. We have to always shout out to our regular listeners. Thank you for joining us today. We're talking about cybersecurity. We have the wonderful Miss Lewis on as our guest, and she is here to ask questions. Please, please, please. She will be talking about her her business structure and everything that she has to offer. So ask questions, ask questions. Okay, I'm gonna hand it back over to Ferman, but I did want us to get that out of the way because it was on my mind. So I was like, yes, I gotta say that.
Thank you.
And awesome stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. So I have a question for you too as well, Miss Lewis. What's one cybersecurity myth you wish people would stop believing?
One cybersecurity myth I wish people would stop believing would be that and this is more so from an organization or small business standpoint, that you're too small or too irrelevant to be a victim of an attack. Like, people think that just because they're a small business, they're growing, or not a large corporation, and nobody's looking for them or nobody's checking for them. Hackers don't care. In fact, with smaller businesses, the protections are usually lighter in a sense. So you are actually even a higher target, I'd say. So that's one myth I'd say people should do away with.
Okay, amazing. Because I know it's all about being open-minded and not so closed-minded. I know a lot of times as individuals, we could be very closed-minded and not being open-minded to new information that will help retain us for long term. And another thing that leads to, what are some common digital mistakes individuals make without realizing it when it comes to cybersecurity?
Okay. Common digital mistakes. So I kind of spoke on this a little bit before when I gave my tips, but some other ones I could think about would be clicking on links before you verify the sender. So for example, you get an email from somebody, maybe you familiar or unfamiliar with the person that emailed you, but they send a link in the email, and without hesitation, you click on the link and it takes you to wherever it directs you to. That's very dangerous. That's very dangerous. I don't think a lot of people know that. One click, it can execute malware on your device. One click, you can lose control over your systems. So I would say one tip around that, and I'll share that here, is that before you click on a link, take your mouse and just hover over the link. That will show the URL, and you'll be able to get a glimpse at what the actual website link is and be able to determine a little bit better if it's legitimate or not. Like, if the URL is something completely different from the email, more than likely it's a bad link. So that's one digital mistake. And then another one would be, I'd say, ignoring like your software updates. When you get software updates on your phone or your laptop or your Instagram or any type of social media, do the updates. They are there to patch any bugs. They are there to do upgrades to the system, so improvements generally. So ignoring those updates is another digital mistake I see a lot of people doing currently.
Okay, this was
in areas of protection, what would you suggest would be the best I mean, there are a lot like Norton or McAfee, like, but what would you think in your opinion? Or is there like a shortcut through what you have set up where we can protect ourselves as far as security for our electronics?
So a lot of times, like laptop computers, specifically Windows, come with built-in VPN, threat protection, threat detection as well. But there are third-party materials that you could purchase, like you just mentioned, with the Norton VPN as well. That's a very popular one. I more so focus on the human side of cybersecurity, so I could talk to you more about how you can protect yourself from that perspective. In regards to protecting your systems, I would just generally encourage you to do your research. I don't have a specific one I love over the next one. It would really be about what your needs are as the user and what that company can offer you. So if you're looking for basic VPN protection, virtual private network, or you're just looking for something that's going to do threat monitoring and send you updates when they detect something, a Norton VPN may be a good option for you. If you're looking for something more advanced, then that would include some additional research to see what needs you have and what best would fit your use, and also device.
Okay. All right.
Cool. And no, go ahead, Ferman.
No, you good.
No, I know you wanted to ask something. Go ahead. No, you're okay.
No, cause I was going piggyback, so I know the flow is awesome. I know you mentioned earlier, Miss Lou, you transitioned from your home state to the state of Texas here in Dallas. Of all states, why choose Dallas? Well, you felt this was more of advanced opportunity for you here in Dallas. I know Dallas is a big market, of course, and I know a lot of businesses are transitioning here to Dallas. So what made you choose Dallas?
So honestly, Dallas chose me. I'm going to say that Dallas chose me. And I'll say it like this because, like I mentioned, the internship opportunity I had was all the way in North Richland Hills, Texas. And when I got the call for the offer, do you want to take this position? I said yes. And I'm not going to lie, my stomach dropped. I felt nauseous. I just felt all of these emotions. And it's because I've been living in North Carolina my entire life. I never lived anywhere else. I'm going to a new state by myself. I've never even been to at that. So it was just a lot of emotions. But when I got out here for the internship, I came during the summer. I had a great time. I met great people. I actually really enjoyed the weather out here in Texas. I'm a warm weather person, so anything tropical, warm, I lean more that way towards cold. And then I felt like I can birth something new. I feel like when you live in different areas, they bring out different things in you. Like you live in North Carolina, you may be more disciplined and structured. You live out in Texas, I may be more adventurous and bold to try something new. And I just felt like a new spark of energy when I was out here in Dallas. And I decided when I was out here, I didn't want to go back. I was like, I don't know what I have to do after this internship, but I'm going to get a job and I'm staying out here. So honestly, that's really what drove me to Dallas and kind of what's keeping me here. I don't have any children yet. I'm not in a serious relationship. So I'm really just out here living for me, and I'm enjoying every bit of it right now.
I love that.
Thank you.
I hear that story a lot of times where a lot of people, when they come to Dallas, because Dallas just had, we're a little older, obviously, than you, back in the day. Well, Ferman isn't, I'm originally from Dallas, West Dallas. And so, we just wasn't put on the map. When people thought about Texas, they did not think about this is a place to settle down, or this is a place, but this is a business mecca. This is exactly what this is. And just like Ferman said earlier, this place it is what it is. It's booming. They have so many different corporations coming in, the tax cuts. We're seeing so much construction.
Yes.
It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. And I don't see it. I mean, where the taxes for homes were once where you could buy a home for $70,000 That was very reasonable. Now you can see how much this, the area has grown, or the region has grown, where that $70,000 house is no longer that. Now they're competing with, West Coast, East Coast pricing because of the, migration here to Texas.
I hear Dallas natives talk about, don't come to Dallas, stop coming out here. We don't have any.
Look, my son was telling me the other day, like an apartment was like maybe, I don't know, $1,800 or something. And I was like, what? I said, my first apartment was $575. I said, what the heck? Huh? Excuse me? $1,800. That's a house. But, that's not even the price of homes anymore. So I was just like, Jesus Christ. But, fortunately for me, I got to do what I needed to do when I was able to. So, that's a blessing. But this here is such, I like to hear stuff about this, because this is something that I just do not know about. I do not know about. I see that my screen is going in and out. So sorry about that. Don't know why it's happening. So we will find out in a second. But that is, I want to learn more about cybersecurity. This is a very interesting topic for me, just because I just do not know much about it. So I love to hear this here.
Awesome. Yes. Well, we can definitely connect after the show and stay in contact. For sure.
Okay. Wonderful. That sounds great.
Yes.
All right, Ferman.
All right, we're going to jump back in. Oh, yeah, like I said, how is in, let me ask you this. I know you said North Carolina, correct? Okay. How was it with the upbringing? Was your parents more of they saw you values, go-getter, don't settle for less, don't be mediocre? Did you come with that type of background, or to put you in the position that you're in today?
So I was born to two immigrant parents. They are Jamaican. So I would say I grew up in a stricter household, I would say, especially from my mom's side. My mom was the disciplinarian and my dad was like the cool dad. But what they instilled in me, I think I learned from example. My mother, very strong, very hardworking, in the fact like she put herself through school. She got her PhD. She's very consistent. She showed up for herself every single day, like ambitious, very much so. My dad was hardworking too. He went to work every day. He worked as a contractor. He had his own construction business. So I feel like when you just grow up in an environment where that is normal, it's either in you or you kind of learn. I feel like it was in me, honestly. I've always been an ambitious child from growing up. I did extracurricular activities like dance, trying out for volleyball, was in the band a little bit. And then as I got into high school, I started exploring different avenues. I really got into content creation. So YouTube, doing beauty and fashion. Like I told you, I have a lot of different avenues. And then one thing my parents were very supportive of was education. Like anything regarding education, my mom's gonna pay the bill for it. That's one thing my mom didn't say no to. Like, oh, you wanna do this extracurricular program that's gonna teach you piano? Yes, we can do that.
That's great.
You want to learn how to develop this new skill, and it doesn't even have to be like book-based. Like me, even taking ice skating lessons, like my mom supported that. So I feel like having examples in the household is really what gave me my ambitious drive. And then also, I'm just naturally like this. I like to have things to look forward to in the future. So I try to exert myself in different areas so I can get some new experiences in,
Oh yeah, most definitely. And that's really what you need, is that support. I'm so glad to hear that you had that in your home, because a lot of people do not. And so, that's truly a blessing, because with support is you are able to get so much in your life accomplished. And especially when it's genuine support, when people genuinely want to see you do well, that makes it all the most, like, it makes it worthwhile. I did want to ask, it's something you spoke on earlier when you talked about like the behavioral side of cybersecurity. Can you go into like more information about that? Because I wanted to know about that.
Yeah. So me focusing on the behavior side or the human side was intentional because most breaches begin with a human interaction, essentially.
Mhm.
So whether you get a phishing email, whether you get a social engineering attempt thrown on you, it's human facing. And then to tie it back to what I said earlier, when I was working at my first job in the corporate environment, I was getting those messages and they were talking about how they just clicked through it or they watched it, but they were still failing the phishing emails that we were sending out to them. They wouldn't pass the test. So that was showing that there's a behavior gap there. People are getting the information, but they're still not changing their habits and still failing these exams. So essentially, if we don't address how people make decisions in the cyberspace, we are only solving half of the problem. So I was like, well, let's get to the root. And a lot of, even outside of the context of cybersecurity, everything is really habit-based, whether they're good habits, bad habits. Everything is habit-based. If you could change your habit, you can change the outcome. So that's why I decided to focus on the behavior risk reduction, reducing the risk of them clicking on a link based off of their actual actions and habits that they've been learned and taught over time.
Okay. Could you? I have another question. Oh, look, Ferman's like, oh Lord, I'm so sorry, but this had something to do with what you said. I'm so sorry, Ferman. But this is okay. I think one of the reasons why a lot of employees at companies do fail, and just ask, you chime in if you agree or not agree. A lot of the times employees might fail those phishing, tests, or they'll click on a link that they're not supposed to. A lot of the times because they're not invested, I feel like, because, just speaking from morality, as far as company-based and corporations, what we have seen over the decades, I was raised by a baby boomer. Okay. That was my generation. I'm a Generation X. So we were taught, hey, when you get your job, you stick with them, no matter what, right? No. But that is not the day and time. You have employees and younger generations. And I really when I tell you, that is such a game changer to me, and it has been proven that has helped employees improve their salaries, is when they kind of change up from that mindset and they choose to leave. They choose to leave, especially when they're not being treated well, when they are not being, when they know their worth. And it is about knowing their worth. And so leaving a company after 2 years is basically habit. And this is coming from this younger generation. And so I apply that so much. But I think that is probably one of the main reasons is a lot of employees aren't invested. They don't feel invested. They don't feel I hate to say the word cherished, but they don't feel
valued.
Yeah, they don't feel valued as an employee. A lot of employees are looked at as, hey, you're replaceable. You're replaceable. So, to them, they're just like, okay, well, it's not my company. I just come here, I swipe in, swipe out, and go home. It is what it is. If I get written up, I get written up, and I move on by my day.
Yeah.
Well, I have to find a new job. What you think? Do you think that perhaps might have a reason of why?
I could definitely see that being a reason. Like if you feel like your company doesn't care about you, why would I go the extra mile to learn how to protect the company, essentially? And I think that all goes back to having an intentional work environment and a positive or safe work environment, should I say, where people feel like they can voice their concerns without retaliation, where there are lines for open communication, for improvement, or, even positive burst. I feel like a lot of times, one thing that I've learned in higher ed is that when your team members appreciate you, you actually start enjoying the work that you do. And also when your direct hires, your managers, directors and stuff also recognize your work, you actually start enjoying your work as well. So things that I would recommend, whether it's in a security awareness and training setting or just like organization setting to boost that employee morale, is to have some recognition in there. Like when you're learning about these new cyber topics and somebody is scoring perfectly, maybe you sent out 3 phishing tests in the last week and a half, and somebody passed all 3, highlighting those employees and showcasing that, you know, they're doing great work here. We're recognizing them. Giving the employees something to look forward to is also a great recognition tool. And then also, I think it just has a lot to do with the organization culture as well. If you don't get to the root of what the problem is in the space, I don't think any type of over teaching, over training is going to work. You definitely want to have a good, healthy work environment and then build upon that so people want to help protect what they're building. Like, I really enjoy working here. I would hate for my organization to get hacked and I wouldn't have a job tomorrow, you know? So just building that type of employee morale, I think is very, and especially in larger corporations where people get lost in the funnels, you know, if you're not directly with the CISO or the C-suite executives, you kind of get overlooked a little bit. So making sure the environment is good for everyone. I can definitely see that being a reason though.
That's beautifully said. Yeah. Ferman, did you have another question?
Yeah, because I want to piggyback on what you were saying earlier. She was talking about changing habits. So basically dealing with the mindset. We say change the habit. What would be the first thing come to mind? Change the habit. What can we do to make it more interesting? To captivate people's attention, because I know people's attention span is very short, and I know we don't treat it as very important as we may do something else. That makes sense.
Yes.
But what could be the necessary steps in order to changing the habits, in order to grasp hold and retain this information that we can add to our toolbox?
Yeah, so I would say, like, you know, the best way to eat a large cake is one piece at a time. So starting small with small little doable tasks. So for instance, one example would be setting a daily timer, maybe one time to go out once throughout the week for 10 minutes. And in this 10 minutes, you're going to study a different area of cybersecurity, whether that's phishing. Maybe we just want to focus on phishing. Your first 10 minutes for the first day will be, what is phishing? Second 10 minutes for your Tuesday might be, what's an example of phishing? Like, I don't want you to overwhelm yourself. We just want to build continuous habits. And every day you might find at the end of your 10 minutes, like, I already have my next question for tomorrow, because now I want to know what an actual phishing email looked like. Like, what are some examples? How is AI advancing these phishing techniques, you know, to become more complex and hide underneath the radar? So that's my first test. Starting small, set a timer, daily timer, do a little bit of learning every day. And then you'll start challenging yourself like, oh, I fell off today. Just get back on. It's okay. This is just a personal thing. It's not anything to make you feel, you know, less than. So that would be the first way I would say mindset change. I had that second one at the top of mind. Give me just a second. Maybe it'll come back to me. Mindset. You asked me about the mindset resetting. What happens with the
changing the habits, the mindset to make it more interesting. Because I know if it ain't sexy, people are not gonna be into it, and it has to be appealing and yearning for it. Because this kind of conversation we don't have every day, and we this kind of conversation we only have at a dinner table with family and friends, loved ones, spouses, partners, whatever. These kind of things we don't talk about. But it's as important for us to be able to talk about at home, amongst our spouse, amongst our family, to keep it with time.
Yes. Oh, another major one that just came to my head is making it relatable and real to your everyday life. Like, a lot of people think, oh, cybersecurity is not going to affect me. Okay, let's think about it this way. You use the same passwords across multiple accounts. Somebody gets access to your bank account. Now all your funds have been drained. Now they have also, with those passwords, they have access to your email. Now, if they get in your email, that's reset central. Everything that needs to be reset, they're going to send that reset email to your email. So essentially now they have access to your banking account. They probably have access to your financial data. They probably now you are exposed completely. That is a very real possibility. So I think maybe one, making it fun, like I said the first time, a little bit of gamification, but also making it real. Like, what are the real realities? What am I really at risk for? I feel like when you realize, like, this is a real threat toward me, you start to take proper precautions. Kind of like if you choose to wear your seatbelt or not. You wear your seatbelt because you know it's gonna keep you safe, essentially, if nothing happens. But if you choose not to wear your seatbelt just because I'm just going down the street or whatever, anything could happen in that one time of you going down the street. So I think it's just more so being real, learning those risks, having fun with it. Don't take it too serious. Take it one step at a time. And then HackHERproof, the future of HackHERproof, we are going to include some gamification as well. So I'm happy to share that. And with that gamification, that's going to allow us to make this more interactive for you, where you don't have to set that timer, where you can just get on your HackHERproof app and, hey, I want to learn a little bit of cybersecurity today. And
that's great. That was going to be the next question. I wanted you to elaborate on HackHERproof. So yes, it's definitely time. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
I heard you mention app. So
yes,
let's go there.
Awesome. So I'll start with a little bit. So HackHERproof is a new business, as you guys know. We started last year in July. That's when we officially launched. And in October of last year, I had the opportunity to partake in a pitch program called the 3-in-1 Trinity Pitch Program by Doris Anderson. She was also a special guest on the show previously. So if you know, you know. And during this pitch program, I had the opportunity to strategize for 12 weeks on who my mission is, what my mission is, who my audience is, who I'm targeting, pricing, price range, all of that good stuff, and partake in the pitch competition. And I won first place, and I was awarded some seed funding. With this seed funding, I've been able to get a laptop, do some operational things that we need on the back end. But from the pitch program, it allowed me to get a lot clearer about what my business is and what I essentially want to do. So with that being said, HackHERproof is a human-centric cybersecurity awareness and training business. And my goal is to take overly technical topics within the cybersecurity space and explain them or educate people in a way that's understandable for them, even for non-technical users. So right now we are really boots on the ground. Right now, this looks like partnering with nonprofit organizations or community groups, maybe a chamber of commerce or a workforce development group, and providing them with structured educational material that is relevant for those groups. So nonprofits tend to work with a lot of sensitive donor information. So their training may be centered around that, or working with workforce development. There are people that are just trying to get their feet wet back into the work industry. Maybe they don't know anything really about the safest protocols. So being able to partner with those organizations as well to provide that service is something I'm looking forward to doing. Also, just giving free education to the public. That's where my TikTok comes in. So people are able just to, get short videos that are also educational and engaging. I'm talking about things that are relevant to them, like the most common cyber crimes today that you should know about and what this is telling us about what law enforcement is going over. That's one of the most recent videos I just posted. And then the future, or the what HackHERproof will be. Right now, you guys are getting like founder early development stories, but definitely in a few years from now, HackHERproof is going to turn into an automation platform. So I won't have to do so much of like the in-person presentations. Like I will still do those, but majority, my goal is to empower and encourage people to take control of their digital safety. And to be able to do that, we need to be scalable. So I in the future, I'm planning to develop a HackHERproof application and web application, mobile app and web application, where people can log on and get their cyber education straight from their phone. We'll set you up with a plan. You'll have day-to-day tasks, and that will build that habit formation. That's going to include that gamification, and it's going to be adaptive for you. I really want it to be personalized to the user, whether you work professionally somewhere, maybe you don't work at all, you just shop online on Amazon all day, you are still a threat for, at risk for a cyber threat. So being able to provide people with those customizable paths is really where I want HackHERproof to be in the future.
Wonderful. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's really I can tell it will be a game changer. And I'm so glad you are following what you want to do, your dream. Dreams look, when you have a goal, you got to follow it. And it's such a blessing, and you got all praises to God when it comes to my book. Whenever you're able and capable to follow your dream. So this is great. I feel so happy for you, and I know Ferman does as well. We at the JustSayN Podcast, we encourage businesses like this, any type of entrepreneur, and that is what this podcast is about. Even though we are trying to spread whatever positive light on any type of business that is starting or already developed, but we want to shed light on those people and businesses that are thriving and want to thrive well in the future. So yes, we're with you 100%. So yes, that is good.
Space. Like, this is such an important space for us to have, and a platform for us to have. So thank you so much, Ferman. Thank you, Larissa, for all of your work. You guys are really stamping it. We need more of this. So thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. I do have a question for you. Okay. Now I know that there are a lot of places like you where you can get like certificates. Is that something that HackHERproof might you'll be able to see in the future? Is that something that
Yes. So HackHERproof would love to be recognized as an industry leader, where organizations can reach out to us for their HackHERproof readiness certification, which will basically say like, hey, our employee went through this training. They have the habits and the skill set to defend themselves from cyber threats, and they're ready to work. So I'm really hoping to have a lot of global partnerships where organizations will essentially require them to go through HackHERproof to say like, yes, we employ you here, and we feel safe with having you in our systems and behind the wall, essentially. So the HackHERproof readiness certification will be coming soon.
Good, because I think that's important. I think a lot of people that even want to try to test out this area of as far as a career, a business, or anything that there are so many platforms on different social media, as far as social media is concerned, that talk about getting certificates. But then you get there and you're like, well, what do I do? Right. Like what are the steps? Where do I need to, start with? That's why I asked. That's where that question came from at the beginning. Like, where do you start? And I think the basic general knowledge or foundational information is the most important, because if you don't have that, it's just like trying to get in, playing a basketball game, and you don't know a thing about basketball, right? You don't know the foundation of the game. So, and this, at the end of the day, is literally like a game. People treat this like a game. They treat your information, your privacy, like a game. That's why so many people are taken advantage of on a daily basis. And I know that there were a lot of different scams out there targeting older generations, and people who just wasn't aware, where they were completely locked out of their phones, and they were literally ransomed to pay. I remember seeing that on the news. And so I know you mentioned earlier about as far as password protection and how important it is to maintain that password protection. I literally just had, it's so funny. This must have been I believe in fate. Seriously, I really do. I believe people cross paths for a reason. I was having a conversation with my mother, literally maybe 4 or 5 days ago. And I told her, I said, Mama, baby, everybody know your password. She's like, don't nobody know my password. I said, yes, I do. I said, if you can ask anybody in the family and they're going to know your password. I said, I swear, everybody know your password. I said, you use the same thing. So I said, you got to stop doing that. We're going to change it. And so that's exactly what we did. And she had to write it down, but, I was like, no, you got to change it now. Like, this is the age of where, I caught her in the middle of trying to give her information.
There's a second person I heard where they caught like an elderly person in the act of almost being scammed, essentially. Yeah. So definitely that is one of the groups, like I said, partnering with those local groups, like even giving a senior citizens intro to cybersecurity class, something even as basic as this is how you get out of the Internet Explorer, or this is how you can spot a scam, making it even playing field for them so that they can best protect themselves, even when nobody's around. Because a lot of the time you have to watch your elderly parents or grandparents and stuff like that. But if they have that foundational knowledge, if they are still operating technology, I think everybody can use this for sure.
Yes, that's really good. And that's good to hear, because I'm pretty sure the app will have functions that is aged.
Yes.
Age-based. And I think that's important because, even though you have some people on a beginners, intermediate, and advanced level, and where where a person that knows foundation and they don't want to go over that again. They want to skip it. So I'm pretty sure that's why I like this idea of everything that you're talking about for HackHERproof. And I just think it's going to be a success. I really do.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to see like where HackHERproof is 5 years from now and all that we've accomplished.
Okay, $1 million company. Okay. Ferman, I know you wanted to ask another question.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's gonna tie into what it is. One thing what I want to ask you, let me tongue tie, was what impact do you want your work to have on the community? So, what impact do you want your work to have on the community?
That's a good question. So I would say I want communities to feel empowered instead of intimidated by cybersecurity. I feel like when people actually understand how attacks work, they make better decisions. So my goal is to close the gap and help cybersecurity knowledge essentially at a scale. So feeling empowered, not intimidated, feeling encouraged, maybe even feeling excited about, the new information that you're learning, to the fact you want to share it with somebody else, essentially, so that the entire world can improve their digital safety habits.
And let me see.
Okay, here we go. I was like, why do I keep on like just coming out? I gotta hold on, wait. I think something's trying to come through, but it's a question that we're trying to come through.
Okay.
But it's I don't know. No, go ahead with your next question. I'm gonna look it up. Let me see.
All right.
We had a guest that wanted to ask something.
Okay, that's cool. We're gonna tie into it. So, like I said, we like this flow that's going. There's another thing I want to ask you as well, Ms. Lewis. How should parents think about digital safety for their children?
That's a great question. So my first answer would be to have those open lines of communications. When I think back to when I was a young teenager, I was sneaking and having social media I shouldn't have. And now today I'm being haunted by Facebook reminders from 10 years ago. Look what you posted 10 years ago. And I'm like, what in the world?
All your info, all that.
So I think first it starts by just having some open conversation about what safety looks like online. For instance, what is appropriate to be shared versus what's not? What photos are you posting of yourself to have a digital footprint? That's a big one too. Like, a lot of people don't think about what you post today and how it can come back around in a few years from now. So your digital footprint. We also talk about, again, the password protection. Are you exposing your passwords? Are you using your passwords across multiple platforms? having those clear safety digital conversation with your child, I think should just be more of like how to keep yourself safe. I don't think it needs to even be as extreme as like, we're going to learn all about cybersecurity. It's even basic stuff, just like, this is what's appropriate to post online. This is what's not appropriate. Let me tell you about your digital footprint and how what you post today can affect you tomorrow, and basic password protection. So I think those are really great ways to start having open conversations. And then also setting boundaries on devices. So talking openly about online behavior and teaching them to recognize suspicious email messages early, like DMs on Instagram, is great. Overall, my last tip I'll say is that it should be a ongoing digital awareness conversation. I don't think it just should be a one-time conversation that parents are having with their kids, because digital safety today is essentially like a life skill. So once you have this life skill, you'll be able to navigate yourself across all platforms better versus just, guessing through it.
Yeah. Okay.
So I actually I'm so sorry to cut you off, but I did have a question. Someone texted me on my Twitch, and they said, are smart homes actually safe or just convenient targets?
Personally, I would have to look into more of the technology behind smart homes. I know smart appliances that you can have in your home, such as like a smart thermostat or smart lights that automatically come on. All of those things are like IoT devices, Internet of Things devices, and those are still at risk for being hacked, essentially, like any type of technology. So smart homes, if you have those appliances in your home, if you're keeping up to date with your software, if you're making sure you're following a protocol when it comes to password protection, I think those can be an asset, essentially. As far as going deeper into a smart home, I'm not sure exactly what part of smart homes they're referring to give a determinative answer of, what did they say? If it was a waste of time?
It said, are they actually safe? Or just a convenient target?
Yeah. So overall, I would say they're a target, if that's the question. Yes, they are a target. But I do think that they do have some safety guidelines as far as like being able, if you have a smart lock on your phone, being able to determine who's coming in and out, or have it locked during certain times where nobody can get in and out. So I think with all technology, they have pluses and minuses, essentially. So I think having a healthy balance, maybe everything doesn't have to be smart. Some old school stuff is still great. We don't everything does not have to turn into technology. But if you are going to have the technology, making sure you are aware of the updates. Don't just get the technology and never do anything with it, because then it just becomes a threat for you.
Right. Because I know a lot of stuff in homes now, like appliances and also like just the light bulbs that you plug in sometimes, that have the because I have one in my garage where you can actually listen to music, and it's the whole thing, but it's Bluetooth capable. And I do know that is a very high risk way for someone to
connect to your network.
To my network. That's why I make it I try to make it a habit, especially my brother was rest in peace, Ronnie, but when I tell you, he was the smartest person when it came to security computers. He really was. And one of the main things that everything that you're telling me, he has told me 1,000 times, but I never really had to do it because he did it all for me, right? So, now that he's not here, I'm just like, oh Lord, what do I do now? I gotta actually learn this stuff now. I gotta do it. So it's I can't say it's my favorite thing, but I definitely will say it's something that I need to learn, and I for everybody to get as much information as possible. My son is trying to go to the military, and he's already starting and he has made his final decision. Like we've been talking about it, and he is getting into satellites because he's almost there. I believe he is almost there for Space Force. So he is. I don't know. He told me something about security and what they're going to be doing. I don't know. He said that is what the recruiter told him. So I was like, okay, well, I get it. Okay. That sounds like something that you would like doing. I guess it sounds like it's suited for him. And so I was like, whatever you learn, you can just, teach me.
Let me know.
Yeah, let me know, because I need to know these things, especially when it comes to security. It's so important. I do have another question for people that are interested as far as a career path. What is the income based? What is like the basic entry level, as far as trying to, or just like an entry level, cybersecurity? Would it be an analyst? It'd be a cybersecurity.
So like the entry level role would be like IT help desk. A lot of people don't know this, and it was new to me too. Like entry level in cybersecurity is like 3 years of experience. So for you to even get like an entry level role, you need to have 3 years of relevant experience most of the time, or at least internship experience or something like that. A lot of times, if you go to school, get a degree, and then you try to go right into cybersecurity, you can't do it. So entry level role would be IT help desk, like a help desk support, and average base salary for that is anywhere, I would say, between like on the low end, $50,000 to maybe like a $65,000 or $70,000 job position. And that's like base. And then from there, you can transition into security analyst, information security analyst, or if you're more interested in the engineering path, like there are so many different avenues within this space. So I encourage people to do your research. There are things in cybersecurity and IT I don't even know about, because there are so many special niches that you can go into that kind of interest you. So if you're more into policy and compliance, there's a GRC area that you could be in.
What is it? It's a what?
Governance, risk, and compliance. So that's GRC. So that'd be like the policy area. If you're more like you said, starting out and you just need experience, the IT help desk, which you would work with mostly customer facing, get the customer's issue, report tickets, and if you can solve the issue, you solve it, or you send it up to the next tier. And then there are more so engineering positions where you're working with systems and codes, if you're more interested in that. And then they have more of and then you get into more of the advanced roles, like the system administrators, or if you are interested in cloud development. So there are literally so many different avenues for you to find a niche that you're more interested in and learn about that. You don't have to learn everything. In fact, you become more competitive when you can get certifications, distinguish yourself from other people. And that's where I'm trying to go as well. I have a diverse background in communications. A lot of IT people don't really like to communicate a lot, is what I learned. They like to be behind the scenes. So people to talk and then also be able to work behind the scenes. I find that as a strength of mine. And then with me having an undergraduate degree in political science, I'm also interested in the GRC route. So I'm trying to find my niche and blend it into an area that makes me unique and different, and kind of not like the rest, essentially. So people will come to me for what exactly they need, and I can refer them to other people that are also in this area that may have more expertise in areas that I'm not, super familiar with.
What exactly is I gotta ask, when it comes to what exactly is coding? Because you hear a lot about different camps that are offered for children for coding. Can you give us just a little synopsis of what that is exactly?
Okay, so a definition I will give you is coding is writing step-by-step instructions to tell a computer on what it needs to do. So you are designing the code, you are designing the rules, you are being the programmer to translate this language to computer language to make a system do what you want it to do, essentially. So that's like layman's terms to explain it that way.
Okay, good. All right. So I wasn't off then. So I was definitely there.
You know some stuff. You definitely
I'm trying. But my daughter told me to stop acting old the other day when I didn't know something. She was like, oh, I'm so embarrassed too. I can't even lie. I don't even want to say what it was, but I was very embarrassed. I was like, Lord have mercy. I sound like my mama for real. But yeah, no, and just, I don't know, Ferman, did you have another question? Because I do know that we are trying to, stay on time and everything. So I'm going to let you go ahead and ask your final question if there's a final question for you.
Yeah, it's going to be it. What legacy are you building towards HackHERproof?
That's good.
Let's see. Thank you for the question. So I am building a legacy of digital confidence and access, I'd say. So again, HackHERproof is all about making cybersecurity understandable. I want it to be actionable, and I want it to be human-centered so that people and organizations can operate online or in the cyberspace with clarity and control, essentially. I want people to feel calmness. I want people to feel confidence when they are building through HackHERproof. So my legacy is going to be digital confidence and access, essentially.
Good.
Good right there.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And this will be my final question. Okay. When it comes to HackHERproof, it's up and running. You can find it at the Play Store if you want us to download it.
So no, we are not in any app stores as of yet. Right now, we are still boots on the ground. So if you did want to connect with HackHERproof, you can visit our website, HackHERproof.com. You can also reach out to us on Instagram, on TikTok. I am very active there. You can find our contact information at the bottom of the page on our website. And then also I'm encouraging people to please sign up for our newsletter. If you do go over to our website, there at the bottom of the page, there is a box for you to enter in your email, and you'll start getting newsletters. And in the newsletter, it will announce like steps as we begin to grow, partnerships we're having. And then, of course, once we are ready to take that step and publish our app for the public, you guys would get first notice of that in our newsletter as well.
Okay, and just so I'm aware of, so just so I don't want to butcher the spelling. It's
HackHERproof, PROOF.com, and that's HackHERproof is one word.
Gotcha. So y'all heard it. Y'all heard it from the LaShonda Lewis right here. Go to www.HackHERproof, and it's HackHERproof.com. Okay, and you can follow her or follow the team, the project on. You said TikTok.
Yes, you can check. Same thing. All handles are the same. HackHERproof on TikTok, and then also follow us on Instagram.
Wonderful. I was trying to find a link for the Instagram so I can post it, but my thing, I don't know. I'm feeling like I can only type 25 words per minute right now. I don't know what's wrong with me right now, but I'm so. But yes, I'm definitely going there today because I love supporting who we. Whenever we invite somebody here, we want to definitely show that support. So, yeah, for sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I'm going to post it right here. And, I'm going to post the first thing. But it when people revisit this here stream, they'll be able to find out your information. So we will definitely post that as well. So, but thank you so much for joining the show with us, for taking your time and coming on here, telling us about the company that you are building for this wonderful future. And hopefully that it's It's, I see it. I see the vision, and I know it's working. It's working. It's already there. It's already in the works. So, hey, we are ready. Maybe my grandbaby is going to be on there, and he'll be able to like, oh, Granny, I know what to do. Yeah,
I love that.
He's going to be telling me. He's going to be showing me how to do it. Yeah. So, and that's what we are looking for. We want this to encourage and help educate people of all ages.
Yes.
Right? Young, old, does not matter.
Newbies, experience. I feel like it's something, and everybody can learn something new every day. If you know everything, that's interesting, because I consider myself, I love to learn new things. I don't consider myself a know-it-all. So if you're expert to newbie, like you said, young to old, it's something for you on HackHERproof as well. So thank you guys so much for supporting me and giving me the opportunity to come on the Just Saying podcast and talk about HackHERproof and all of the amazing work we're doing and plan to do in the future.
Good. And we would like to say, hey, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to us. We are here on every Wednesday at 5 p.m. We have wonderful guests like Ms. Lewis right here. Like I said earlier, our vision, Ferman and I, what we are trying to do for our community is just this: get that information out, share other people's dreams, because that's just what we do, that is just what we do. We want to help. We want to be out there and say, hey, we support you and we are behind you. And everybody needs support. And that's how it starts.
Yes.
That's how it starts. And, we wish you the best. It's going to be successful. Give you the flowers in advance, like I said, because, honey, it's going to turn this to gold.
Okay. Thank you. I receive that. I receive all of that.
Yes. For sure. All right, Ferman, you want to say your last bit?
All right, like I said, that sums it up right there. Like I said, I know we at our time schedule, and of course, again, Miss Lewis, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come on here to elaborate what you got going on, what you are doing, what you want to accomplish, what you set out to do, and big up to you on that. Keep it a great work. I give you your flowers right now, man, because it's all about you being great, and we love great people as well. Me and Lewis love great people doing great things, doing extraordinary things. You about your business, and we respect it to the highest. So keep doing the great work. We love to have you back on here again soon to give us a follow up, where you at, what's going on, and all the other great stuff. So we once again, we salute you, ma'am.
Thank you guys so much. I had a great time.
Good. Awesome. Thank you. You have a blessed day, everybody. All right. Remember, hit that subscribe button, y'all, and we are out. The subscribe button. Hold on, Biggie. Wait a minute.